As you know, today marks the beginning of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Now, every 3 minutes, a woman in America is diagnosed with the disease, as I was. Well, today, Dr. Susan Love announced the creation of an unprecedented partnership in the fight against breast cancer. She's always been a pioneer, and her latest venture is aiming to be a huge groundbreaker.
I'm in a hurry. You know, every day, 600 women are diagnosed with breast cancer and 110 die of breast cancer.
Dr. Susan Love's passion for ending breast cancer didn't just start today. Her journey began over 30 years ago as a surgical resident in Boston. The commitment that started then grew, and she became the face of a movement advocating for women on Capitol Hill and around the world.
So to remove all of this breast to get around something out here doesn't even make a whole lot of sense.
But her ideas have not always been popular. She was among the first to link hormone replacement therapy to breast cancer, and at times was sharply criticized for thinking outside the box.
Dr. Susan Love accepts a grant of $1.2 million.
And yet she is about to launch her biggest, boldest idea yet.
What we really need to do is make a shift now to the much harder research of figuring out what is the cause of breast cancer and how can we prevent it.
So in an unprecedented move, Dr. Susan Love is recruiting women to participate in cancer research, an army of them, 1 million strong. And it's not just women who already have the disease.
We need the normal, healthy women that aren't in hospitals and aren't in clinics, but are willing to step up to the plate if we're really going to get these answers.
Dr. Love's Million Women Army will pair researchers with women ready to do whatever it takes to help accelerate research.
What was once very difficult to collect enough samples to do a study, now we can go nationwide, pull them in, and actually do studies that we couldn't do previously.
It's going to be critical for us to do a lot of our research. We'd be able to do it with much more power, with much more recently collected samples.
Already in small pockets of the country, women are answering the call.
I'm here for specifically my mom. My mom, who died almost 24 years ago, and I'm here for my daughter, Alexa.
For all the little girls I see running around, that they don't have to face this, that they don't even know what breast cancer is when they grow up.
We can't afford to sit around and twiddle our thumbs or play it safe anymore. We have to try to do anything we can to get rid of this disease.
Dr. Susan Love joins me now. You are, first of all, so motivating. And there are so many women who want to know, like, what can I do to help? And finally, it seems, there is a vehicle. There's something everyday women can do.
Absolutely. You know, what became clear to me was we weren't doing the research on what's the cause of breast cancer and how do you prevent it. And when I went to the researchers, they said, well, you know, we can't get women to do those things. We can't get women to give us blood or tissue or this or that. And I said, of course you can. They said, well, we don't know how to find them. I said, oh, I know how to find them. So that's how the idea was born. We will recruit the women. We'll get the scientists, now that they realize they have this resource, to do the research. We'll match them together, and we will prevent breast cancer.
I can't believe the reason that they weren't doing the research was because they couldn't find the women. I mean, that kind of shocks me a little bit.
Well, they don't know how to find them. I mean, classically, the people you find to be in research are in hospitals. And they're women usually who are sick, who have breast cancer, and certainly a lot of research has gone on to how to treat it. But when you're starting to look at what's the cause and how to prevent it, you need to go to healthy women. You need to go to women who are sort of free range, wandering around the city, and those are the people that are going to have the answers.
Okay, so a healthy woman says, okay, I'd love to help out. What does it entail if she wants to be part of this?
Well, she goes on the website and signs up, and that means she's willing to look at different projects. And then as the projects come up, we will send out an e-blast saying we need 1,000 women in New York who are over 50 and not on hormones and had a kid before 25 or something like that. And women will self-select that fit that criteria. We'll tell them what's needed, blood or urine. They'll show up, we'll collect it, send it to the scientist, done.
And how does that research on a healthy woman, how does that help you find a cure for breast cancer or find out what causes it?
Well, you know, if you just look at diseased tissue, you never know what causes it to be diseased.
Yeah.
You have to know. It's sort of like criminals. If you go to the high schools and start to see how kids get troubled, then you can figure out how to prevent crime. But if you just study the criminals that are already criminals,
Right,
it's too
doesn't
late.
work.
So we got to get into healthy, early women.
It seems frustrating to me. I mean, as a breast cancer survivor too, you're thinking, gosh, I remember in the 70s they were, Nixon was declaring a war on cancer. We're in 2008, and here we are, cutting off body parts and ingesting chemicals and poisons to fight it. It seems frustrating to me.
It is frustrating.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done much better in our treatments, and we certainly are saving more lives. But really, the time has come to get rid of it. We have a vaccine for cancer of the cervix. We can figure out what causes breast cancer, and we can prevent it. We can be the generation that stops it. It just takes an army of women.
Do you really believe that, don't you?
I believe it with all my heart. I absolutely do. When I was a resident 30 years ago, if you had an abnormal pap smear, you had a hysterectomy because we didn't know what else to do. My daughter was vaccinated against cancer of the cervix. She will never get it. We can do the same thing with cancer of the breast. We just have to put our mind to it.
So if women want to be part of this, how do they sign up? How do they join?
They go to the www.armyofwomen.org.
Simple.
They just sign in, and then within a couple of weeks, we'll be sending out research projects for them, and they can see whether they can participate or maybe they have a friend that could participate. We'll get this done.
I hope in your lifetime, in our lifetime, we can figure this out.
Hoda, there's no doubt in my mind we'll do it. We just have to put our mind to it.
You are a cutting-edge kind of woman. Dr. Susan Love, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And again, you can find more on the Army of Women on our website at todayshow.com. And by the way, there are hundreds of women on our plaza signing up right now to join that army. We're going to talk to them a little bit later.